So when it comes to shooting your videos, you definitely want to get your white balance right. You want your skin tones to be accurate. You want your whites to be white in most cases. But there are some times where you break the rules, where you don't have perfect white balance. Like for example, if you're shooting tungsten lights, you don't want a white balance at 3200 because you want your tungsten lights to show up as warm, as yellow in your shot. And if you white balance 3200 on tungsten, that's color temperature for most tungsten lights. If you white balance for a tungsten light, then your whites are going to appear white, and tungsten lights aren't supposed to appear white. So definitely look at it with your eyes, gauge it with your eyes, and see, does what I'm looking at in my camera, does that look like, what I'm seeing with my eyes? And if not, then 9 times out of 10 your white balance is way off. And you definitely want to know skin tone, because you don't want your characters looking green or blue or super yellow. You want your skin tones to be natural, and you achieve that with white balance. But there's so many different ways to do it, and in this video I'm going to show you some ways that I do it. So first thing you need to do is, if you don't have a white balance card or something like 18% gray card, you definitely want to get one of those, because it'll definitely help you with your white balance. So this is the card that I have. It's 18% gray on one side and it is white on the other side. Now, I prefer to use the gray side because to me personally, I get a better white balance. So that's why I use the gray side. And a lot of other filmmakers use gray too. But whatever works for you, definitely white works just as good and gray works just as good. So it doesn't matter which side you get, but the gray side is really used for exposure, but it's, to me, again, better for white balance. So if you're shooting daylight is typically 5600 in most cases. So what you can do is, what you would do, you would put this in front of you, and you put this in front of your camera, and then you would change the white balance. You let your camera do a custom white balance on that. And if you don't want to deal with custom white balance, then definitely get your camera. If your camera does Kelvin, 9 times out of 10, put your camera at 5600 if you're around daylight balance light. For example, my light here is daylight white balance. It's supposed to be 56, but when I do a correction, like a true white balance on it, it come out as 53. Now I can go in post and change it from 56 to 53 to get the proper white balance on my skin tones and stuff, and I'm not going to lose a lot of light quality. Now, if I'm way off on my white balance, like say if I'm shooting at like 2000 Kelvin and I need to be at 56. Now, if I go in post, especially if I'm not shooting raw, I will not be able to fix that white balance. It'll come out super muddy. The footage is pretty much ruined. If you get your white balance really close in camera, then it is super easy to fine tune and get perfect white balance in post. Now, this is the shot where I use the gray card to get my white balance, but I'm gonna set my camera back to just regular 5600 Kelvin. And I'm gonna do my white balance in post and see what that looks like. All right, so we're in Premiere, and I am going to add a white balance to the clip. So it looks pretty close, honestly. You can get away with that. But let's go here, and I'm gonna add. And yeah, so basically what it's saying is this is the true white balance of the clip. And if you look here, skin tones, it's a little red, that's coming from there. There's a lot of colors happening in my shot. But as far as me, the skin tones are a little on the red side. So let's go over to the white side and see what happens. Now that's a lot less warm than the other one. I would honestly go with the white side. Forget what I said earlier. Let's see. Now let's go to the last clip and see what happens. Let me see if I can find. It looks pretty white, right? Need to find some white. Let's do the piano keys. That's white. And yeah, so it's pretty much it's making it really warm on all of them, honestly. That's cool and that's warm, but I mean, it is what it is. It says like, now let's check the skin tones. If you want to check your skin tones, I'm gonna show you a little trick. And I learned this from Mark Bone, so he gets all the credit for that. So what you want to do is you want to go to your effects control, you want to go to your mask, and you want to go find a good spot in your skin, and you want to draw a box. And you want to go to Lumetri Scopes if it updates. And yeah, so my skin tone is accurate using the gray card. Now let's try this with the white side. Same spot. Make it a fair experiment. All right. So it looks like the skin tone is a little to the red side using the white card, and it's dead centered on the gray card. So gray card wins so far. Now let's try the white balance from using white in the image, like the piano keys. Maybe I can use these keys. Nah, because my key light is spilling more on this one. All right. Let's see. Giving y'all all the sauce today. Scopes. Pretty accurate. So, I mean, do you really need a gray card? Or you just find something white in your shot? I say still get you a white balance card, because there will be times where you don't have anything white in your shot. And it's just a good practice to have that in your shot. But I'm gonna get a clip to where it is completely off, like the white balance is way off, and I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about and see if we can even fix the white balance. Okay, so these are some clips to where I had the white balance set way off. It was like 3200, and we're gonna see if it'll fix. So let's go to the gray side, and the same thing we're gonna do like we did with the other shots. Let's click it right here. So let's compare this shot. As you can see here, the colors look way more muted than it should be. It doesn't look that flattering, in my opinion, versus the other shot. You can see in my skin, it looks dead. Jared Undone did a much more detailed video on why this is. If you want to check his videos out, I think he did it like a few years ago. So happy hunting. So let's try the white. Same thing, looks very muted. Doesn't look as flattering as the other one. You can see the difference. And let's, same thing. Piano key, same spot. It just looks very desaturated, honestly, versus the other shots where it looks very vibrant and my skin is popping. So yeah, this is a prime example on why you should get your white balance as close as you possibly can in camera, because if not, you will end up with really terrible colors and terrible video, and nobody will want to watch your stuff. So if this video was helpful, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, stay tuned for the next one. We are going up and up on our subscribers, so join the On Edge TV family and let's get it. See you in the next one. Peace.